and engine experts, and he went to Pebble Beach with it, I think, recently, and won a first-place trophy on it.
Did he drive it there, or did he... No, seriously.
Did he drive it there?
Yeah.
No, he probably had it...
Trailered.
He had it trailered, there.
One thing about Pebble Beach, though,
from New York to California, I don't think the Tucker's going to drive.
Oh, touche on that.
If it did win, he had to drive across the block when they present the trophy.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he drives across the block, but not across the country.
No,
that would be
even
quite
a real unrestored Tucker is going for about $1.5 million right now. So if he restored it, it could go up to $3 million. Or the most valuable Tucker is Preston Tucker's Tucker. It's car number 30. That's a $6 million car.
Wow.
There's a manual.
He needs to bring that Tucker to my house.
Okay.
To your house, yeah.
So at Bob's Big Boy here in Southern California, there was a Tucker that had a 1963 Mercury instrument panel. And it had louvered... not louvers. What am I thinking
it has
of?
louvers.
Yeah, louvers
in the front of it.
In the hood.
Yeah, now that car, that's an interesting car because that's a well-documented vehicle. A gentleman bought a number of Tuckers when they had the sellout of company assets, and he bought them. That one he gave to his daughter. She couldn't drive a manual transmission. It's set on a Mercury chassis.
Oh.
Now, that car
but that's not a true Tucker.
The body is, and the car has been restored back to a Tucker. Now, I had to inspect the car when I was with one of the insurance companies and do an appraisal on the vehicle. The vehicle, last we saw it, and I didn't see it there, I just saw photographs of it. It was in Canada at one of the auction houses' repair shop, and they were bringing it back to stock. And they'd found a number of the correct pieces for it. The engine and so forth, the dashboard, the engine and so forth. I mean, the Tucker guys are anal about that stuff. And they found the pieces to restore that back to stock. They had to fill the louvers in, but it was a Mercury dash. It was a Mercury big block, an FE motor on a Mercury chassis, so his daughter could drive the car. And I had to appraise the car. He had bought it. He had just bought it on Barrett Jackson or Meekum, and he paid $500,000 for it, and wanted us to insure it for $1 million. At the time, this was 9 years ago. At the time, a stock restored Tucker was $1 million. So here's half a Tucker, and he wanted $1 million.
Half a Tucker.
Yeah, it was a Tucker body.
And the moral of the story is thou shalt not molest a Tucker.
Especially with a Mercury.
I agree.
Dashboard.
And a true Tucker needs a Tucker chassis and a Tucker engine. Otherwise, it's not a Tucker.
Well, what we found was the guy was also a car dealer.
Oh.
And this was a flip. So
it had to be a car dealer. He was mixing and matching.
Well,
it was a gypsy Tucker.
Well, the guy who bought it on eBay or through the auctions. As a matter of fact, it was eBay. He bought it on eBay for $500,000. He was flipping it. But what we found out, we had 20 cars of his insured, and he was a used car lot. We were insuring his inventory. So we quickly pulled the insurance from this gentleman back in the day. So tell me something, Howie. Barrett Jackson, Meekum, all the auctions go back to the east as well. Have you been to one of them?
Yes, I have. I have been to the one in Florida. Okay. When I was visiting my mom about 4 or 5 years ago. I have some friends that work for Barrett Jackson, so with their help I got in and got a VIP pass and enjoyed it thoroughly, and did kid around with my wife, about raising my hand because she saw me on television, and I said, "Yeah, I'm ready to raise the hand, hon. I hope you got the money,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
and,
I'll wave at you, but it's going to cost you.
Oh, absolutely. Usually they like you to have pre-register with them and get a paddle, and a paddle is $30,000. A paddle.
Yeah.
And they usually like to have a bank authorization. So I basically I can do better in the local area when I'm looking for a vehicle than buying it at the auction and then paying fees. So I went there for the pure entertainment.
Sure.
And I've been doing this a long time. I've probably been in car clubs for probably 25 years. I'm currently a vice president of a Cadillac club of Long Island, formerly the Long Island Dreamboats. and I'm in also a Buick club and in a Pontiac club, but I only tell my wife 2. I don't want to push her over the edge.
That's probably a good thing. Having a wife not on your side is usually a good thing, especially if you don't want to sleep in the garage.
Yeah,
that's always a good thing.
Or sleep in the camper. You buy the camper.
Exactly.
All my friends say, you're gonna be using that. You're gonna be sleeping in that.
Or sleeping in the Tucker, and you never want that to happen. Trust me.
Right.
No, you don't want that to happen.
No.
Well, thanks for calling in and sharing your Tucker story. Just don't buy one on eBay.
Yeah, and Howard, if you would, private message me with your address, if you will, because we're going to do a drawing later on for one of the GAAS or talking about car hats, and Anna Octane is wearing the GAAS hat and holding the talking about cars hat right now.
I would love to have one. I would love to have one of them.
All right. Private message me with your address, and we'll be drawing later tonight. Thanks for calling in. We've got to make a commercial break.
Thank you.
Take care, Howie.
Happy motoring.
Thank you.
All right, Great American Auto Scene. We're going to be right back.
This year, the 60-horsepower engine is equipped with the same quality type semi-centrifugal clutch as the 85. For 1942, the 60 has an improved crankshaft. The main bearings are longer, and the pin bearings are larger in diameter, both resulting in a sturdier, more rugged shaft, longer bearing life, and smoother engine operation. And this year, the 60-horsepower engine is on a par with the 85 for accessibility. The low grill, low wide radiator, and the mounting of the fan on the crankshaft give more room for mechanics to work. Improvements all. Changes and advances that set a new standard for the low-price field. And remember, these many new improvements are in addition to the proved Ford features that have set the tempo for motor car progress in the past. Every one of these features and improvements are to be found on each distinctive body style. The deluxe 4-door sedan, roomier than ever before. The deluxe 2-door sedan. The deluxe coupe. The deluxe business coupe. A brand new body style this year. And the new deluxe convertible club coupe. The business coupe has a divided seat back that pivots forward to permit easy access to a big compartment for luggage or salesman's samples. When this space is not used for luggage, 2 additional passengers can be carried on the small auxiliary seats that fold down from the sides. These seats make the business coupe a 5-passenger car. The 1940 Deluxe Convertible Club Coupe has a vacuum-operated automatic top that can be raised or lowered with a movement of a knob conveniently operated from the driver's seat. This costly feature is regular equipment, not an accessory at extra cost. Another outstanding example of the Ford ability to provide high value at low price. And here are the new lower-priced Ford cars for 1940. First, the 2-door sedan. The 4-door sedan.
If that light's not on.
The coupe, with plenty of room for 3 big passengers. And the business coupe. Like the deluxe, this car has 2 small folding seats for extra passengers. Here are the cars for those prospects who demand a lot of car at a low price. They are available with either the 85 horsepower engine or with the 60 horsepower engine at a much lower price. From this brief review, you can see that in 1940, Ford again has made tremendous strides in automobile design. 22 improvements, every one of them carrying a big sales appeal. The big job now for every Ford salesman is to see to it that every prospect knows about these new improvements, as well as the time-proved features of Ford design. At announcement time, you're going to meet more people than at any other time in the year. Let's start carrying the ball on announcement day and keep it up throughout the year. Contact, demonstrate, sell the big new car with the big appeal. It's Ford for 40.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here
in my coupe right now, just to make sure it's on.
Oh, yes.
Thank heavens I have that, double-sided tape.
Well, it makes sure you don't have a flat head.
Yeah, well,
Anyway.
That's not the first time I've been accused of that.
All right, if you'd like to talk to us about your experience at a Barrett-Jackson auction or one of the others, give us a call, 800-809-0802.
That's an interesting, by the way, I wanted to poke this in, the story early on in the show about the diesel Oldsmobile. And I guess that would be, you get $2,000 for your car. There was no reserve on that car, right?
No, absolutely not at a Barrett-Jackson.
No.
Okay.
They occasionally will do it, but it's very rare when a Barrett-Jackson has something like that. It's interesting because we talked to John Craman of Meekum.
Yes, we did.
And we talked to him at the recent Dr. George show in Las Vegas. We had him up there.
No, we weren't in Las Vegas.
I'm sorry, at Palm Desert.
I know
we were in Las Vegas.
Somebody was somewhere.
You were in Las Vegas.
For SEMA. That's something else.
That's another story. We don't talk about that because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
And you weren't there, so I'd have to talk to myself. That would kill the listenership. But anyway, it may be killing it now. I don't know. So, at the Dr. George show in Palm Desert, John Craman talking about the Meekum way of doing things. And I'm not saying which is better and which isn't.
Right.
To me, they're all the same, and it's a lot of fun. But they do something, and the bidding goes on.
Yeah.
And so if they get to a part where they're not getting the money they want, you can sit there and actually keep it going, take a pause, go to the next car. And then I asked him, well, how does that process work? And he detailed basically that people can go up and they could talk off camera and deal with that kind of thing at a Meekum auction. And that way, if there's a car somebody there likes or somebody who's doing it over the phone,
right,
you can actually bid that way. And it to me is kind of interesting because you can compare the two and see the different ways that it's done. Whereas Barrett-Jackson, once you sell it, boom, for the most part, it's sold.
It's gone. Yeah. The other thing I noticed, I was watching the Gooding auction today on TV from back east, and it was one where the Wayne Carini was taking a car to, and he was real disappointed. But it was the difference being when we went to Barrett-Jackson, the caller or the auctioneer is hitting you hard. And he's talking a mile a minute.
Isn't he British?
Must be. And he is just talking, they're talking at you, and they're trying to get you excited about the bidding. Watching the Gooding, it was like, well, sir, would you like to bid on this car?
They're polite.
It is a very nice car. Right now, we have a bid of $500,000. Would you like to up it? It is a very nice Volkswagen Beetle.
I like the part where they say, then, someone who really is worthy of such a car like this would double the bid right now, unless you're not. And then it's like, what, Jewish guilt? What the hell? What did that happen?
We are not worthy.
No. We are not worthy. I couldn't even bid on that Pinto at Barrett-Jackson. That's the Oldsmobile was more in my price range, but that's another story altogether.
Jeeves, another cup holder, please.
It's interesting.
More
you can spend as much on the petrol memorabilia as you can on the cars.
Well, yeah, and that's what we saw. One of the things that Randy saw that he really wanted was the DeSoto couch.
Oh, yes, because... And if my wife's watching, she'll understand and know, because I've told her already, that I was looking at the possibility of buying a 1957 DeSoto Fireflight hardtop, I believe. And it's the one with the
huge wings.
It's got huge wings. It was one of the forward look cars.
Yeah.
One of the first ones that Dodge put out there, or Chrysler put out, and they all had these incredible wings. And that was the one that eventually led to the ones General Motors decided to put on their cars in 1959 and along the line. So I'm looking at this, and while I'm deciding, I see the tail end of a couch, and we've all seen them. There are basically somebody cut the tail off a car, stuck a couch in the trunk area, and it looks really cool. Well, they did that to a DeSoto.
Yeah, so which was unusual.
Yeah, and I posted that, and I thought, gee, decisions. Do I go for the 57 DeSoto automobile or the 57 DeSoto couch?
And her response was?
The 57 DeSoto taillight. That's all we could afford. So I find the taillight now. But we're working on that.
We're working on that.
Because I've got the listing here. That couch sold for $28,750.